Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Ask Huda Live. I'm your host, Fuad Muhammad. Today we welcome on the show as well our dear and respected doctor, Dr. Muhammad Salah. Assalamu alaikum, doctor.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khairan, Fuad. It's my pleasure.
Barakallah fik, doctor. Just a quick reminder of our telephone numbers, 00202 38555 248 or 249. And if you have an email, you can send it to ask, that's ask@huda.tv, and we will be welcoming your telephone calls from the very beginning of the program tonight, inshallah. Doctor, we have Brother Muhammad from the UAE, and he wants to ask a question about zakah. He says, can he pay his zakah money to his cousins who are studying? And he said that his aunt and uncle, they're not poor, but they can afford the high education fees for their children.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wal-aqibatu lil-muttaqeen. Wa-la udwana illa ala al-zalimin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidil awwalina wal-akhirina Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Praise be to Allah alone. We praise Him and we seek His help. Whomsoever Allah guides is the truly guided one, and whomsoever Allah leaves astray, no one can show him guidance. May the best peace and blessings be upon Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. In the beginning of this program, and before answering this very important question, I would like to deliver a word of recognition to our dear brothers and sisters in Dubai for their great hospitality, for the great reception they received us with there. We just returned yesterday. And I would like to mention particularly the brothers and sisters who were behind the event of the Peace Convention. It was a tremendous effort they have done, and it was a great success. Alhamdulillah wa shukrillah. I would like also to share the news with the viewers that between 23 to 25 people have accepted Islam over the 2 days of the conference. Alhamdulillah wa shukrillah. Then after that, we've also witnessed people accepted Islam by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'd like also to thank especially the brothers and sisters who are the organizers, the maintainers, the supporters of Kalima Center and the Huda Center and Al-Manar as well. Thank you so much for your hospitality, for the organization, for the effort you made in order to support this channel and to honor us during our visit to Dubai. May Allah bless you all. I'd like to give a special thanks to the Indo-Pak community in Dubai. Jazakumullahu khairan kathira. May Allah bless you and your families. Ameen. Now, the question you answered consists of more than one part. The first part that he's asking about giving zakah to his cousin.
Yes.
And the second is to a family or a cousin who is studying abroad, and he can make it, but he cannot afford the tuitions. Okay? So let's answer the first part. Who's eligible for my zakah? Is it because he is my relative, I cannot pay him my zakat dues or not? We understand that if anyone is under my guardianship and I'm financially responsible to support them, then I cannot pay them out of my zakah, such as the wife, the children, and the parents. But if I have relatives who are in need, nephews, nieces, cousins, the Prophet ﷺ, when he was asked about giving the charity to such people, he said, you will receive double reward. The reward of giving your charity, and the reward of upholding the ties of your kinship. Ajrul qurba wa ajrul sadaqah. So the cousin is eligible if he is eligible. You may give the zakah or the charity to your cousin or your nephews and nieces if they are eligible. Now, the eligibility, whether relatives, related or not. Who is eligible for the zakah? We all know that verse number 60 of Surah At-Tawbah talked about 8 categories. Began by saying, إِنَّمَا الصَّدَقَاتُ لِلْفُقَرَاءِ وَالْمَسَاكِينَ. These 2 terms are very, very important. Mainly brothers and sisters who pay the zakat to those who are in need. Those who are, their earning is not sufficient to support their basic needs. Some of the contemporary respected scholars said if they do not have enough means for an entire year for themselves and their families, they are eligible.
Yes.
The person, Fuad, could be making a lot of money, but because his financial responsibility is too big, he spends all of his earning even before the beginning of the new month, before he receives his next paycheck. So this person is eligible because he's living hand to mouth.
Yes.
A person may possess the nisab, which is the amount that if you withhold for an entire lunar year, then you must pay zakah, which is the value of 85 grams of gold, for instance. So a person may possess this nisab. He may have $2,000-3,000, okay? But meanwhile, he's broke. So can we give him? Yes. We pay him zakah, and he pays zakah on his possessions.
SubhanAllah.
But we pay him zakah because he's breaking even. He's living hand to mouth. So many of the employees, whether governmental or private sectors, who are earning a lot, but they're spending because of the bigger responsibility of their families and so on. So I would not say I want to send the money towards the tuitions or whatever. No. If somebody is poor, according to the explanation which I mentioned earlier, then he is eligible. If somebody is making a decent income, but he is in a big time debt that he cannot settle it, وَالْغَارِمِينَ, those who are drowned in debt, they are eligible for the zakah. So I may give them my zakah fund, and they want to deposit it towards the tuitions, school supplies, health, medical care, or whatever, pay the rent. It is their choice. So if they are fuqara or in need, you're most welcome to give them your zakah, and you will receive the reward twice for giving the qurba or the relatives and for paying your zakah. May Allah accept.
Ameen. We have Sister Sophia from Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum, sister. You're live and ask your questions, please.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I have two questions.
Okay.
My first question is about the Freemasons.
About?
I watched a documentary recently about the Freemasons and how they manifest.
Can you repeat?
And my question is, hello?
Yes. Can you repeat the first question?
A documentary on the Freemasons and how they work and how they are able to influence people.
Okay.
My question is particular to kids. Since they use the cartoons, I don't know, how are we supposed to curb it? Are we supposed to stop our kids from watching the cartoons, or
okay,
what should we do?
Okay.
My second question is, now we have a lot of Muslim women who are not married. How do we counsel them to keep having faith in Allah? Because some people tend to want to either marry Christians or they want to have kids out of wedlock.
Okay, Jazakallah khair, Sister Sophia there from Nigeria. We also have Sister Ahmed from Egypt. Assalamu alaikum, sister. You're live and ask Huda.
Alaikum assalam wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh.
Wa alaikum assalam, sister. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. I'm married to a man from the West, okay, and he has a daughter from previous marriage.
Okay.
She's in her 20s now. We just knew recently that she has having a child from non-Muslim men for the second time. The part about it that she's living in a house that belongs to my husband. He let her live in it with her mother and two brothers. So what I'm asking now is there is anything on my husband front of Allah, because we knew also that that boyfriend or that man comes to her in the house and nobody objects on that.
That's in Egypt or in the West?
No, that's in the West, in his home country.
Okay.
But he made hijrah here to Egypt, and he's staying here for about 6-7 years now, and he just tried to go once a year and come back.
Okay.
But when we was here, he knew just about a month ago that she's having the second child for this man, and this man comes to that house.
Okay.
So we want to know what Islamically he should do, and there's other details. If you can give us your number, please, so he can also, he needs to talk to you.
Okay, we can direct you to the control, and we ask the brothers if you can
Yes,
speak to the control and take the number, inshallah. We also have Sister Anelia from the USA. Assalamu alaikum. Sister, you're live on Ask Huda.
Alaikum assalam, Sister Amelia. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Alhamdulillah. I have a few questions.
Can you raise your voice a bit?
Excuse me?
Yes, can you just raise your voice a bit, sister?
Oh, okay. I have a few questions.
Okay.
First, if I miss a witr, if I became in state of haid during the Isha prayer, and if I miss a witr, should I pray when I perform ghusl? Should I pray witr?
Sister, if you can just raise your voice, it's very, very silent at the moment. If you can raise your voice so we can hear the question properly.
I became in the state of haid.
Okay.
The Isha prayer, and when I perform ghusl, I pray fard. But should I pray witr too?
Okay.
And my next question is: I heard one sheikh saying that women in the state of haid, they are not allowed to cut their nails or remove the hair from their body.
Okay.
And also I have a question. I also heard that we are not allowed to flush down the toilet our nails or hair. It's easier for me to do that during the summertime. But when it's winter and everything covered in snow, I don't know where should I put those nails or hair.
Okay.
And my last question is if a sheikh can explain to me step by step. I have very irregular periods. I would get my period as soon as 9 days after I perform ghusl. I understand in the medicine they're counting the days from the first day that you get your period.
Okay.
But I don't know in the Islam, in fiqh. Are we counting the days when we perform ghusl and counting like 15 days? I understand there's 15 days between two
Okay.
periods.
Got it, Sister Anelia. Jazakallah khair for calling us there from the United States of America. We also have Brother Hamza from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you, Sheikh?
Alhamdulillah. How about yourself?
Alhamdulillah, sir. Pray for me.
May Allah protect you and your family.
Ameen.
Inshallah.
Keep you steadfast on the straight
I
path.
have a question.
Go ahead.
After the Fajr prayer, there are some people in my mosque that make a group halaqah and they start reading Quran. So is this right? They asked me to join them. So can I join them? And after finishing, they read some hadith or something, one or two, and they make supplication with group. Is this allowed?
Okay.
Jazakallah
And
khair.
my second question is that what are the conditions of dua? Some people say we should not make dua in a group.
Okay.
Or dua, we should make dua single only, by one person only, not in a group like that.
Okay.
Then when the Jum'ah prayer, when the khutbah is given by the sermon, he makes dua. So everybody is saying Amin, Amin. Is this correct?
Okay. Jazakallah khair, Brother Hamza there from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. We also have another call from Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum, brother. You're live on Ask Huda. Brother Noor.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I said Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Nuh, how are you?
Fine. How is it?
Go ahead.
Jazakallah khairan.
Wa jazakum.
With the effort that you're putting in Islam, may Allah bless you and reward you Jannah hereafter.
Ameen.
To you too.
Ameen.
Barakallah.
Please, I have a question, because there is a time that we have a text that Huda was about falling down because of financial something.
Yes.
So, Sheikh Muhammad, for all effort that you, a person that you are put into Islam, so Saudi government cannot take care of Huda TV?
Okay. We'll comment on that, inshallah, Brother Nu, there from Nigeria. Jazakallah khair for calling us. Doctor, we have Sister Marwa, and she asked, she received money from a bank, of a commercial bank, and what can she use the money for, the profit from a commercial bank?
Well, if the question is that she received a profit, that is different than received an interest. So if it is a non-Islamic bank, I do not call it a profit. Yes, you earn this money, but it is unlawfully earned. Because when I deposited my money in this bank and I saved it, I knew beforehand this is how much I'm getting.
Yes.
There is no such business that's lawful. It is riba to predetermine the interest rate, whether the business would succeed or would fall or would fail. That is riba. But if it is an Islamic transaction, then I deposit my money in a murabaha or a mudaraba, I'm a partner. Then we distribute the profit according to our shares and according to the shareholders, their percentage. Also, if there is any loss, will be distributed likewise. But when I put my money somewhere, and I'm so secure and safe that I know that no matter what happens, that I'm getting my money plus 6%, 5%, or even 1%, or even 0.5%, that's called interest, not a profit. And it is not permissible to use. You can take it out in order to give it away, and there is no reward in such thing because you're getting rid of haram. We said there are several ways that can be, this money can be spent, and you can give it to an orphanage, to a hospital, paving roads, fixing the facility of any school or a masjid, but not to be spent inside the masjid itself. Wallahu a'lam.
Okay, we have Sister Sarah from Qatar. Assalamu alaikum, sister. You're live on Ask Huda. Questions, please.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I've got 3 questions.
Okay.
Number 1, my husband has been given a mobile broadband connection exclusively taken by his office. The charge for this is paid by the company, and it is a fixed amount the company pays, irrespective of whether my husband uses it or not, or irrespective of the hours also that is being used. Now, is it permissible for us, the family, to use this facility for our personal use? Is it permissible?
Okay.
Number 2, the normal white discharge of a woman, does it break the wudu? And number 3...
Can you repeat number 2?
Pardon?
Can you repeat number 2?
Number 2 is what is the ruling for the normal white discharge in a woman? Does it break the wudu?
Okay.
Does it necessitate that she does wudu every prayer?
Okay.
Number 3, can a person eat or drink in a house, in a relative's house where the earning is from a non-Islamic bank? And another related question is can a person inherit? Like if the person's parents they had some earning, which means one part of his lifetime he earned it through a non-Islamic means. So, are the children allowed to inherit this one, or even receive as a gift from their parents?
Okay.
Got it.
Jazakallah khair.
Okay, we also have Brother Ali from the United States of America. Assalamu alaikum, brother. You're live on Ask Huda.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I have 3 questions, if you allow me.
Go ahead.
The first one is about the urine of a baby boy and when or how long you can just sprinkle it.
Okay.
I know there's a mention about when the baby starts taking food, or what's the meaning of that? Does it mean solid foods, or when they start asking for food? So I've seen different explanations.
Okay.
The second question is regarding combining prayers at the airport, especially when the city limits are not well defined, and it's difficult to tell when the city limits end, except if you look at a map. And especially in these days when getting up out of your seat out of the airplane is a lot more regulated, especially here in America. So would it be permissible to combine the prayer before you get onto the plane?
Okay.
And the last question is about financing. Now there's a lot of financing offers for cars with 0% APR, but the catch is that they have a higher monthly payment. So you pay a greater monthly payment per the amount that you borrowed monthly. So I just wanted to know if that's...
Ali, is there any other catch?
As far as I know, no. This is 0% APR for a certain, let's say, X amount of payment monthly, and then they have a 1.9% APR, obviously, which is clearly riba, for a lower monthly payment.
For the 0%, is it only for 5 years, or, I mean...
Yeah, right, 0% for 5 years, exactly.
Okay, got it.
Okay, Jazakallah khair, Brother Ali there from the United States of America. Sister Caroline from Germany, she asked the question, does slavery still exist today?
No, definitely it does not. Because we have to understand that slavery can be only achieved through fighting in a legitimate war. The prisoners of war in Islam would not be put in Guantanamo. Rather would be distributed in the Muslim Ummah in order to feed them, employ them, and treat them as respected human beings. So since there is no such thing, then accordingly, there are no markets for selling or buying, and accordingly, what some people claim, we heard, and unfortunately, it is happening when somebody says to a woman, sell yourself to me, sell me yourself, and you become my slave. I don't have to, slave girl, I don't have to marry you, I can just embrace you and you're like my slave. There is no such thing, that does not exist, and such relationship is adultery.
Okay, and our second question is that if a woman puts on makeup after making wudu, and then she removed them before, does she have to remove them before performing the
It depends
the
what kind of makeup, because if it is a waterproof, water repellent, then when you put water on your face, you're wearing lipstick, you're wearing nail polish, you're wearing anything wax, for instance. So if it prevents the water from touching the epiderm, then it must be removed in order for your wudu to be valid. But if a makeup is a dye that does not leave any barrier between the skin or the hair and the water, it's permissible, such as henna, the eyeliners, the eyelashes, the kuhl, and all of that, it is permissible to perform wudu without washing it off.
Okay, and Brother Muhib from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia says he wants to know if he can dedicate his recitation of Quran to his dead father.
We talked repeatedly about that, and we said, go ahead and recite Quran as much as you want, and pray as much as you want, and by the end of that, make dua. This is the thing which is 100% guaranteed to benefit your dead beloved one. Other than that, why do you put yourself in doubt? Even if you have some people who say there is a statement of this scholar or that scholar. If it was not done by the Prophet, nor is it supported by any reference, so please, focus on what will benefit yourself and your beloved ones. Read the Quran, and after you read the Quran, you read it with the intention of benefiting yourself. Each letter, you get 10 good deeds for yourself. Then after doing any good deeds, you can raise your hands and make dua for yourself and your beloved ones, including your father.
Okay, we have a question here from Sister Mariam from the United Kingdom, and she says, my friend Noor is from England, and her fiancé is an Egyptian person working in Saudi Arabia. She says that her fiancé has permanent residency in Saudi Arabia, and she wants to know, because her friend is planning to go and do Umrah and get married in Saudi Arabia. She wants to know if it's valid to use the Umrah visa and to get married to the Egyptian fiancé.
There is no problem. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, even with regards to Hajj, لِيَشْهَدُوا مَنَافِعَ لَهُمْ, I can be going to perform Umrah and do business and get married, as long as I'm not doing that while in a state of ihram. I'm talking about marriage or marriage process or even a marriage contract. It's not permissible to do any of that while you are in a state of ihram, and Allah knows best.
Okay, we have Brother Mariz from the United Arab Emirates. Assalamu alaikum. Brother, your life and ask other questions, please.
Salam. Sheikh, I want to ask a question regarding Islamic ruling on the takaful insurance. I want to insure my vehicle because it's a must to insure my vehicle. I want to know whether to insure with third-party options or with full insurance.
If you can just brief me about the takaful insurance, is it a commercial insurance or is it...
It's not a commercial, it's Islamic, provided by the Islamic banking institutions.
Okay.
It's a Islamic, with Islamic concept.
Okay, if it is an Islamic concept, then fine. But if it is one of those commercial banks or commercial insurance companies, their main purpose is to collect your money and invest it here or there, and then basically compensate those who may fall in an accident or whatever. Commercial insurance is not permissible, is prohibited. But
is it okay to go with full insurance or just a basic?
I didn't finish it though, because I'm not fully aware of the takaful insurance. The word takaful sounds very beautiful, but not every word really means what's under or between the lines. So I would really like to be more acquainted with this type of insurance before saying yes or no.
Okay.
Jazakallah khair.
Okay, we also have Sister Abdul Rahman from the United Arab Emirates. Assalamu alaikum, sister. You're live and ask other questions, please.
Wa alaikum salam. I want to ask you about an ingredient. It's called vanilla extract, because I recently found out that it has some alcohol in it when they're making it.
Okay.
And it's in so many things. It's like in Mars bars, it's in, Baskin Robbins, vanilla ice cream, Krispy Kreme donuts and everything. But they say at the end, after they cook with it, that there isn't alcohol present. But what I found out is that if there's alcohol in the presence of the ingredient, that's what makes it haram for eating. So I want to know if they tell you that it's not present after they cook it, can you eat that or not?
Okay.
And if so, how do you inform so many people about this ingredient? Because it's in everything. I've been searching and looking in everything, and it's in everything that I see almost.
What do you mean it's in everything?
Like, I looked up so many things, common things that we're eating. Like Mars bars, Twix, Snickers. It has all this vanilla extract in it.
Okay.
It's in Baskin Robbins vanilla ice cream. It's in Krispy Kreme donuts. I don't know about everything else. I've been.
You sure it's in Krispy Kreme donuts too?
Yeah, I wrote to them.
Okay.
And they said it's in that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jazakallah khair.
Wa jazakum.
We also have Sister Ahmed from Qatar. Assalamu alaikum, sister. You're live and ask other questions, please.
Wa alaikum assalam, brother. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, I'm calling on behalf of a friend. We are all from South Asia. She's been spoken in marriage to a person from South Asia and from the same country as all of us. He is living in London, Sheikh, for a long time now. And in order to obtain his visa, he's contracted a marriage with a Western lady, and with the intention of divorcing her once he gets his British passport.
Okay.
So now the thing is, Sheikh, I have two questions. Firstly, I want to know whether it's correct what this boy has done.
Okay.
And secondly, Sheikh, what I'd like to know is now, while this boy has informed the girl's family that he has this kind of past behind him, and before this divorce has been finalized, he paid the mahar to my friend. So I'm just wondering, Sheikh, whether this mahar is acceptable.
Okay.
Yes, that's my question.
Got it, Sister Ahmed there from Qatar. We also have Sister Zainab from Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum, sister. You're live on Ask Huda. Questions, please.
Wa alaikum assalam. May God bless all the people contributing one way or the other to Huda.
Ameen.
My question is on possession by jinn. I have a cousin that is possessed by a jinn. They have done so many ruqyah, but it seems not to be working. I don't know. Can you help out, Sheikh? Because it makes her go out and walk long distance. Sometimes she finds it very difficult to find her, and she doesn't even pray. It's like she's losing her senses, and we're very
How do you
worried.
know that she's been possessed by the jinn?
According to the jinn, they said it spoke once. So he said when
According-
she was very
according
little,
to
like
whom?
8 years old,
According to whom?
the jinn, they said it spoke. One of the people that were doing ruqyah told us that the jinn spoke, and that it said he possessed her when she was very little, when she was playing around some glass or something. It cut her and it entered her body. It possessed her. So it's very disturbing. She has little children, and it's terrible. So we want the Sheikh to help us tell us how we can get rid of this jinn.
Okay, inshallah. We'll get to that. Sister
Thank
Zainab
you.
there from
Yeah, good.
Nigeria. We also have a question here, Sheikh, from a brother. He's asking that, he says, I just missed the question there for a minute there. Oh, he's asking on behalf of his wife. She has her 4th cesarean, and she would have her 4th cesarean in about 10 days, and her age is 35, and she wants to know, because after this it's become very difficult for her to have another child. They want to know if it's permissible for her to go with permanent sterilization.
Once it is advised by the physician, yes, it is permissible in this condition, especially with the C-section. By the way, if I may request the brothers and sisters who are watching us right now, if they can hold back on their phone calls until we get to answer. MashaAllah, we have a long list of questions.
Okay, we'll take a short break here, by the way, and so stay tuned for more here on Ask Huda. We'll be back right after this. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
If you're 18 or if you're 80, if you've been Muslim for 50 years or 5 minutes, this is a show for you. You know, when 5 times a day our foreheads touch the ground in prayer, we beg for what's most important in our lives. We want to be good people, better Muslims. We want to serve Allah Almighty with all our hearts. In this show, Let's Talk, every week we're going to talk about Islam and life, how to relate with other people and how to serve Allah. We'll have studio guests, we'll have a live studio audience, there'll be an email for you to write to, talk@huda.tv. So if you're looking for something different, looking for something that will make you think, maybe even touch your heart, this is the show for you.
The true life of the Muslim starts at death. If you wish to enhance your knowledge of the Islamic perspective on the hereafter, this life doesn't go on forever, but we do so little to prepare for it because most of us don't know what happens after this life ends. If you want to be amongst those who know, then join us every Saturday at 1930 GMT for the inevitable journey. According to the Quran, we live in a universe that worships Allah. It is not just human beings who celebrate His praises, but animals as well. Join us every Wednesday at 20 GMT for your show, Even Animals Glorified. The human heart, greed, exploitation, hatred, all diseases of the heart. For the cure, join Huda TV every Sunday at 20 GMT for Moments for the Heart.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back. You're watching Ask Huda. Just a quick reminder of our telephone numbers 00202 38555 248 or 249. Or you can send us an email at ask, that's ask@huda.tv. But we'll ask the viewers just to hold back a bit for a moment so we can delve into some of the questions of today. We had the question from Sister Sophia from Nigeria. And she says that she read about the Freemason, which is a group that has influence in the media world, and she is asking specifically about the cartoons. She says, what do we do with our kids with regards to cartoons?
Well, indeed, yes, it's a very dangerous organization, and not just in the media field that they have that dangerous influence, but in many, many other fields. They control a lot of things. They manipulate the mind of people, the lobby in every government almost. And what I'm trying to say is, with regards to watching cartoons, whether is been influenced by the Masons or otherwise, that you have the remote control. You should only allow what you believe is useful and beneficial and educational to your children. Do not let the TV or the screen babysit your kids. And by the end of the day, we heard about just some teenagers recently in Muslim countries committed suicide. A child less than 10 years old was copying a movie star, and he hung himself from the window. A boy and a girl were kissing, brothers and sisters, in an awful position. Why? Because they are watching the cartoons. Cartoons are much more dangerous sometimes than the drama and love movies and stuff like that. So we have to be very, very careful. And I would completely eliminate and delete from the list of my channels any channel which I know that it is not an Islamic channel. Well, we need the alternative. We need Islamic cartoons. We're begging people to support the Islamic media in order to produce Islamic cartoons. We have the capacity to produce literally tons of Islamic cartoons, but financially we're tied up. So if there is a chance for people to come forward with ideas, with effort, with stories, and with financial support, we'll be more than happy to produce more and more Islamic cartoons, inshallah.
Inshallah. And her second question, she says, in Nigeria there are a lot of Muslim women who are not married, and she wants to know how can she go about, or the group of women there go about counseling them, because many of these women are getting married to Christian men.
Not only in Nigeria, sisters. If you go to the United States of America, if you go to Europe, and those single mothers or unmarried women do not mind to be second, third, or even fourth wife, or even fifth, if it is permissible. I'm talking about non-Muslims as well. When you speak to a woman who does not have a man in her life, she is more than willing to be a second wife or a co-wife. And that's why we say Islam is a divine religion that produced to us and came to us with the divine solutions. The solution is in Islam. And that's why it is not only necessarily that a man marries a second wife or takes a third wife because he desires this woman, or because he's sexually hyperactive, or many times Islam encourages a person to, when the Prophet ﷺ, for instance, said, أَنَا وَكَافِلُ الْيَتِيمِ فِي الْجَنَّةِ كَهَاتَيْنِ, me and the person who sponsors or looks after an orphan will be in heaven like these two fingers, the middle and the index, so close. How would you be sponsoring an orphan day and night and taking care of him unless if you look after the mother as well, or invite him to your house? Marry that single mother, marry the widow. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam began by himself when he married Salama, may Allah be pleased with her, who was very old and she had a bunch of kids. And he did not just simply marry because he wanted to marry, but in order to console her and to look after her kids. And he said, عِيَالُكِ عِيَالِي, and your kids will become mine. So this is the Islamic way of having a beautiful social life where everybody is taking care of others.
Yes, subhanAllah. Sister Ahmed from Egypt, she says she's married to a brother from the West. She says that he moved to Egypt with her, but she said in the United States he has a home in which his former wife and his daughter is living. She said that his daughter has the second child for a non-Muslim man, and they're living in the same home. She wants to know to what degree her husband is responsible for this.
He is totally responsible, because whether the wife is a Muslim or a non-Muslim, he's a father, and he should be taking care of those whom are under his guardianship. He should exert his best effort in order to save his daughter. If his wife is still non-Muslim, but his daughter should be following him, so he should try his best. But if he fails, I should not be providing them a house where they have adultery in this house and they drink in this house under the roof which I'm paying for.
Okay. Sister Anilia from the United States of America, she says, if a woman menstruates at the time of Isha prayer, when the menstruation is over, does she have to repeat the Isha?
If she experiences the menstruation before the prayer time, then she is not required to offer this prayer. But here is the catch. If she, let's say for instance, she experiences tuhr, she's clean up, after Maghrib and before Isha, she should pray Maghrib, then Isha. What if she is cleaned up after Isha? She also should pray Maghrib and Isha, but she was not clean before Isha. The period was not over before Isha. But each two prayers, which are normally combined in the case of traveling, will be joined together in one bundle. In another word, if a woman experiences tuhr from the period, the menstruation or the postpartum bleeding, after Asr, Dhuhr and Asr are normally combined together at the time of either one, the earlier or the later, in case that the person is traveling. So we still have a chance to pray Dhuhr, then Asr, even though she experienced the tuhr or the purity after Asr. Same thing with Maghrib and Isha. Wallahu a'lam.
SubhanAllah. And she says that she heard a sheikh saying that when a woman is during the period or the menstruation, she's not allowed to cut her nails or remove her hair.
Yeah, you can always cut your hair and nails and all of that. Abu Hurairah, and the hadith is collected by Imam Bukhari, once met the Prophet ﷺ in one of the streets of Medina. So he said, I slipped away from him because I was in a state of major impurity, junuban. So the Prophet ﷺ met him later on and he said, where have you been? He said, Ya Rasulullah, I was impure, so I dislike to meet you while in case of impurity. The Prophet ﷺ said to him, Ya Abu Hurairah, Subhanallah, Inna al-mu'mina la yanjus. Your body never becomes impure. A believer's body never becomes impure. That's why Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha wa ardaha narrated that while she was experiencing her menses, she would take a glass of water or milk to drink. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would request the glass after her, and he would place his lips in the same spot which she had drank from. Then she would grab a piece of meat to eat, or a bone covered with meat to eat. Then he would take it after her and take a bite from the same spot that she was biting on. As an indication that the mu'min's su'r or leftover, whether water, drink or food, whether you're in a state of impurity or the state of purity, the believer is always pure. There is no problem with that. So you can cut your nails. Do not be under the impression that those cut of nails or hair will be impure. No, it is always pure.
Okay, and her third question is regarding that as well. And she says, are we supposed to bury our nails and hair? And what does the person living in America does in the winter?
Does in the winter?
The winter, because the entire place is covered with snow. How does she bury the nails and the hair?
Number one, it's not the entire place is covered with snow. Some places, like for instance in Texas, when they see snow in some areas, especially the south, they celebrate that. So it is not always like that. Second, you don't have to bury the hair or the nails as long as you can just discard them anywhere. The idea of burying or getting rid of your hair and nail is not to leave them exposed. We all know the idea that the sorcerers and the magicians, they may utilize any leftover of the person to cast a magical spell on him. So it is an etiquette. It's an Islamic etiquette. It is not mandatory. Rather, it is an Islamic etiquette to discard the hairs and nails in a proper way. So if you throw it in the trash can, that too is permissible.
Okay, and her fourth question, and I think I got it, what she wanted to say. She says, she's asking about after 15 days. What is the maximum length of the period for a woman?
There are different opinions. I believe Imam Hanifa, may Allah have mercy on him, and others adopted the view that the maximum is 15 days for the period. And they said after the 15 days, even if there is a blood flow, a woman would take a bath and would resume her life regularly with praying and fasting. And extra days will be considered as istihada. There are other opinions. This is not the only opinion which says less than that. The average is 6 and 7 days. There is another opinion which says that there is no maximum. If a woman is constantly bleeding or most of the month, that is her period. Things like that have to be dealt with on individual basis because every woman varies from another.
Yes.
The average is 5, 6 to 7 days. There are some women with some sickness, hormonal imbalance. Things of this nature have to be dealt with separately, meaning we do not generalize, and also with the consultation of her gynecologist.
Okay. Brother Hamza from the Kingdom, he asked, he says after the Fajr prayer, there's a certain group who makes a halaqah or a circle to read the Quran, And they invited him to join them, but he says after the halaqah finishes, one person reads a hadith and then they make a dua in congregation.
If in the halaqah everybody is reading and others are listening to, this is such a praiseworthy halaqah. This is a halaqah which will be surrounded by the angels, and Allah will send down His mercy and tranquility will cover you, and Allah will praise you before the angels. This is a praiseworthy meeting. This is the halaqah which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala likes, because people are studying the Quran, learning its meaning, learning how to recite it properly according to the Sunnah. But the halqa where everybody is taking one para and everybody is reciting all together, and they finish the whole Quran in 1 hour, this is a halqa that's not prescribed. So you should not be attending, because no one is benefiting. Everybody is reciting out loud and confusing others. But if in the previous case, where you're sitting in order to learn tajweed or reciting the Quran in order, and by the end somebody says a hadith and make dua, that is permissible.
Okay, and the second question is regarding dua. He wants to know what's the condition of for a dua to be accepted, because he said he heard a group saying that not to make dua in groups.
Not all the time. Right now, after I finish the halqa, if I raise my hands and I ask everybody to pray for the whole ummah, for Jerusalem, for Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa to be saved, to take revenge from the perpetrators, to destroy the enemies. And you say, this is called a congregational dua. There is no problem with that. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam many times raised his hands and he made dua. As a matter of fact, when we say Ameen, whenever the Imam recites out loud in the prayers, this is a dua, because the recitation of Surah Al-Fatiha is all about making an invocation. The invocation is after the praises and glorification of Allah, Ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim, guide all of us to the straight path. So we all say, Oh Allah, respond, Ameen.
Okay, we also have from Sister Sara from Qatar. She says her husband works with a company who pays for his mobile broadband phone, and it's a fixed rate whether he use it or he use it all day long. It's the same fixed price. She wants to know if they use it for personal use.
This is a very sensitive and tricky situation. The situation is sensitive, the question is tricky. Meaning, if the company and the top management do not have a problem with me using the phone at home or letting my wife use the phone, calling international calls, roaming and receiving calls while I'm abroad, then there is no problem. But if this is something restricted and they say the phone is exclusively for the employee, then I should comply with the conditions of the one who's paying the bill.
Okay, we have Sister Asma from Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum, sister. You're live on Ask Huda. Questions, please.
Yes.
Can you just turn down the level of your television set, Sister Asma?
Assalamu wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay. I have a question for you, please.
Okay.
If a husband warned his wife that she should not in any case pick his phone and check his phone. If she do it again, he's going to divorce her. So after a few months, he phoned her, he left his phone at home, he phoned her, he asked her to pick the phone and call numbers for him. So she did exactly what he told her. She called numbers and she checked his messages. So now she's in dilemma. She doesn't know whether the marriage is over or it's still not over.
Okay.
So that's what I'm asking.
Jazakallah, Sister Asma there from Nigeria. Sister Sara, her second question is that she says for the woman who sees the normal white discharge, does this nullify her wudu?
It would require to wash it off and perform wudu.
Okay, and her third question, she says, can her kids eat at a family who earns from a non-Islamic source? And she wants to know for the family as well, can the children inherit from a father who earns from a non-Islamic source?
With regards to the inheritance, as long as the money which is left behind or the possession is not haram in itself, meaning he did not leave a store full of wine or cigarette packs or lotto tickets. So it's money, but it was earned mixed, lawful and unlawful. So it is lawful for them to inherit it. And if there is any blame or sin, it will be on him. He will be held accountable and will be punished for that. And what a shame that somebody is working hard in order to collect, and he says, this is from my kids. And he will be held accountable for it, they enjoy it, and he will be punished for his haram or unlawful earning. If I'm invited to somebody's house there are two cases, haram and halal, and there is al-wara'. Al-wara' means righteousness and piety. Righteousness and piety, like Abu Bakr Siddiq, when he refuses to keep in his stomach a bite that after he ate it, he figured out that it was earned unlawfully, even in Jahiliyyah before Islam. When his servant brought him some food and he said, this is from kahana or fortune telling that I used to do, and I fooled some people, so he recognized that the money was earned unlawfully. So he stuck his finger, index finger, in his throat until he emptied his stomach to the extent that he was going to take his intestine out as well. He did not want to leave any haram in his stomach. That's called wara'. But people are not required to do that. If people's earning is mixed, lawful and unlawful, I may visit with them, I may eat from their food, but I should also advise them and direct them to what's halal and what's haram.
Okay, Dr. Muhammad, Jazakallah khair for being with us here on Ask Huda today. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to bless you and for us to benefit from you, inshaAllah. And if any one of you still have a question for us, you also can send it at ask, that's ask@huda.tv. And for all the viewers who have been supporting us and those who would like to support us here at Huda TV, you can send an email at support@huda.tv. And don't forget to check our website, www.huda.tv. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
If my love is attached to thee, then from sins I will be free. Each time my heart will beat, your name will resound with heat. Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate